What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind when we rewind.
What is up? Listen, let's just go ahead and get into these topics because when I recently talked about Lil Nas X and I shared the video of him strolling the streets of LA in his tidy whities and his white boots, had the boots on the ground. For some people, it just looked like, oh, he was just, in a mood, just feeling a certain type of way. Yeah, he may have had a little bit of something in his system, but it was nothing that would cause him to be out of his mind, him to, allegedly, well, he was booked for assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest. But yet, and still, just looking at it from that perspective of that video clip, yeah, it didn't really look like he was any different than what he normally is because a lot of people see him as a troll. But to see the most recent video of him where it went deeper, he got to the point where he pulled those tidy whities off and was strolling the streets. Yeah, he definitely had some other things going on. So let's just go ahead and get into it. This is sad, guys.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie? But my features and my shows 10 times the pay. 50K for a verse, no album out.
Why my parents has shaped my character.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie? But my features and my shows 10 times the pay. 50K for a verse, no album out.
Why my parents has shaped my character.
Listen, even if he has some drugs in the system, he clearly has some mental health issues. In my personal opinion, I am not here diagnosing anyone. And I hate when people say, you are not a doctor, you can't diagnose anyone. I know that. And I'm not trying to, but I definitely can share my opinion to say where I feel like something looks like a mental health disorder and a mental health issue. And we know that there are a lot of people who have mental health illnesses and issues that will use substances instead of prescribed medication to try to deal with the voices in their head and whatever, and it just makes things worse. This man is not well. And yeah, he's done a lot of things that have been seen as sacrilegious and all of the other things when it comes to his career and stuff that he has done for the headlines and for the attention and for the sake of going viral and all of that stuff, but he's not well. He's not well, and there are just not enough people addressing mental health issues and mental health illnesses in this country. And also, I cannot go without saying this. When you are a celebrity and you have money and access, you definitely should be the first ones to be getting the treatment that you need because you have access to it. There are a lot of people out here that do not have the money and the access to get the treatment that they need for their mental health issues and illnesses, unfortunately. So that in itself, when you're not going to the doctor, most people can tell when something just does not feel right. But unfortunately, when you are in that industry of being in Hollywood, you have the yes men and the yes women. They're not going to tell you anything that you don't want to hear. So you're not being checked. You don't really have anyone there that's going to tell you what's right or what's wrong and say, look, I feel like you need to go to the doctor. Something just is not right. I've spoken about this a little bit here and there, but I have a family member, actually my husband. He has complex PTSD. And it has definitely been a journey, and I've learned a lot in this journey, but I have been able to be there to say when it just and it wasn't immediate or whatever because I'm not a medical professional. But when I started to see things that were different and some things that were being said that just was like, what is this and what's going on? That's when I was able to step in and say, babe, we need to go to the doctor. Something isn't right. I believe this is going on. I could be wrong, but let's go and get the diagnoses. Let's go and get the evaluations and the analysis and all of those different things. And we did those things. He doesn't have anybody like that right now, it seems. And then also his mother, even though he's not a minor, his mother is an addict, and I believe she probably has some mental health issues as well, because a lot of times that stuff runs in the family. And with my husband, it was because of the places that he has served in the military. He's a disabled veteran. So with that being said, he's a combat veteran. So he's seen a whole lot and experienced a whole lot that has really affected his brain. So with that being said, it could go to this place. Thank God my husband didn't get to this place, but you just never know what things could happen and where it could lead to when you don't have anyone there to really look after you. And I feel sorry for him. So that's why I was saying what I said before. And this is before I saw this video when I talked about the fact that he was booked on assaulting a police officer. My personal opinion is that he was dealing with police officers that were, and this is one of the reasons why back in the Biden administration, and I know I'm kind of jumping and whatever, but forgive me. This is just kind of, I'm just speaking off of the dome. This is one of the reasons why in the Biden administration, they had things enacted so that on certain types of calls, instead of just having police there, they could have officers or people in mental health departments that could come to the scenes, because a lot of times, unfortunately, there have been people who have had mental health breaks, psychotic breaks, and all of these different things like that. And the police were called, and these people don't have the patience, neither do they have the training or the compassion or the grace to deal with these people. And a lot of times they pulled out their weapon and boom, boom, pow, pow, and the person is no longer here because these people are not well. And Lil Nas X is not well. So if he charged at the police officer, even though he may have seemed like he was in his right mind and he was just a high celebrity that's walking the streets of LA because he feels entitled or privileged, and he charged at the police officers looking at him like that versus this is a person that is mentally unfit and not well. If he charged at him, he's not going to say, you know what, he needs to be committed to a mental health facility. No, they're going to book him and charge him for assault. So that's why they were like, he's not being released. He's going to be held throughout the weekend until he can see a judge on Monday. And that's messed up. And yeah, even in those types of situations where they're committed to a mental health facility, they don't arrest them. They put them in the hospital until they can see a probate judge to decide if they can be released or if they need to be in a facility for a longer period of time. And I see this and it just breaks my heart. And I still feel the same way like I felt when I talked about this before. When I see this, I see, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Because yeah, he's had a lot of access and his soul is just depleted. And your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. And clearly they're all broken at this point in time. It's lost it. You can gain it back, but that's where you have to really seek the help from the higher power, which I believe is God, not the universe. I believe God created the universe, and go from there. But yeah, this is sad. This is sad. I'm actually going to read a comment here. It looks like Monique Slaughter wrote a comment, and she said, "My brother did this. Walked to the mall completely nude, backpack and hat on. We found out on Twitter," shaking my head. "Some kids he knew from school filmed and posted it. Schizophrenia and black males will present itself between the ages of 18 and 30 years old." Wow. I don't know if he has that, and that's not an issue that I've encountered, but like I said, there's so many different mental health issues and mental health illnesses and disorders, and this is just one of them. They will sometimes experience a fracture. Relationship, work related, or financial stressors are said to be the more common fractures. Believe that. An individual who is genetically predisposed to this mental illness can also experience onset or even a delayed drug induced psychosis. If he'd overdosed, he'd have been unconscious or unable to function at that level. This is psychosis or mania. He's fractured, praying he receives proper treatment. And that's what I'm saying, guys. And I didn't even see this comment before because I was just looking at the video. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is mental health issues. This is not a criminal. This is unfortunately something that's just overflowing in the jails and even the prisons because they don't care. And it's sad when you don't really have anyone that can be there. But I've seen manic breaks, paranoia, all of that stuff. It's scary. And to see this guy walking the streets like that and just yeah, it's really sad. So I really want to know what you guys think. Okay, and next up is Tamar. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, guys, but listen, this rumor that she was seen out with Mendeecees and he is married to Yandy. They are both known for being on Love and Hip Hop, New York, and now Atlanta. And this is from the Unwind with Tasha K Instagram page. It says, the streets are whispering. Child, word is Tamar Braxton was allegedly seen vibing real close with married Mendeecees Harris at V12 Lounge in Atlanta the night before her accident. Now, that's where she was with Funky Dineva. Eyewitnesses claim the two were together all night, allegedly left around 1 a.m., and may have even taken the after party back to Tamar's spot. Ooh, this wine is messy. Look, I don't know if that's true, but then this came to Tasha K, and it's saying that sources confirm Tamar Braxton has been around Mendeecees Harris, but it's strictly professional. He's the leading man in her new visual, and Funky Dineva even has a cameo. Looks like we'll have to watch the project to see the full story. And somebody said, who said that? Yandy? Now, if you don't recall, Yandy, she had excuses for why a woman was DMing Mendeecees because she said that she was actually the one that did it and apologized to him for him not knowing about it, which sounded crazy. And I talked a little bit about that before. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta anymore, but I'm just saying he's the leading man in her visual project. What? And then it's like, if this source was speaking for Tamar, how does that explain her making this post about how she almost lost her life? She was found in a pool of blood, 4 teeth missing from her mouth. It was hurting to walk. She was in pain. And then Funky Dineva coming out with the alibi to explain it wasn't me. And it's just looking real, it's looking real fishy and suspicious. And so there are some people that are speculating that Tamar is lying and she's using this as an excuse to come out with a new face because they're saying that she went under some procedure for a physical face transformation. I don't know, because if she was just out the night before partying, then when did she get the procedure done? On Monday, and then she made this post on Tuesday. So how many weeks is she going to need to be recovering if that was true? And why would she have sent Funky Dineva a text message asking for Dr. Heavenly's phone number? That's what he said. He said he woke up to a text message from her from the night before asking for Dr. Heavenly's phone number and saying her teeth were missing. So that wouldn't make sense if she had a physical face transformation, a plastic surgery procedure, that none of that would make sense. And this goes back to what I was talking about, because I had someone in my comment section saying, I shouldn't be diagnosing anyone. Again, I go back to me saying, I am never going to diagnose anyone. I, of course, don't have the medical authority to do that. I would never do that. But I definitely have the right to share my opinion. And what troubles me about Tamar is the fact that she comes out over the years. There's been so many times where something has happened. And then she starts talking about her mental health journey. And it bothers me because this is not a game. Talking about your mental health all the time as an excuse for bad behavior or to excuse or cover up questionable things that you've been involved with or you've been connected to, I don't like it, because mental health illnesses and issues are really real. So for her, of all people, to talk about, I'm on my mental health journey, I'm on my mental health journey, I now understand and realize how precious and important life is. You didn't recall that from the last time? I'm just saying, like, for real. Because wasn't she hospitalized before? Because she attempted to take her own life. She talked about being depressed. She's been in some terrible relationships. And she's a mother. I don't know how old her son is, but it's like, what type of life are you living and what type of example are you setting for your child when it just seems like you're always in some mess? And that's what I was trying to get to when I spoke about it. And not only that, what I was trying to say is it is possible that she actually has some undiagnosed mental health conditions. But if you're not really seeking the medical help for that, and you're not really you should be just on a journey for real with your help, do it for real. Don't just do social media posts talking about you're on a mental health journey as an excuse for people to leave you alone because you're just wanting peace and to not be badgered or harassed on social media, which I'm not saying that she should be, because nobody should be badgered or harassed. But also, like, seek real help and get real help. Don't just keep saying every time you get into something you're on a mental health journey, because then it just really starts to sound stale, tired, and through. And people are over it. And speaking of people who are over it, I wanted to share this because Funky Dineva posted this, and he's such a freaking clown. Wanted poster, dead or alive, for trying to. This nigga's stupid. I'm sorry, I have to say that. For trying to KILL Tamar Braxton reward $10,000. The fact that it's only a $10,000 reward, but anyway, okay, don't get it off that. Please be on the lookout. Suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Funky Dineva is wanted for possibly slipping something in Tamar's drink and giving her drugs. Not being concerned about her well being and calling her that lady, despite the fact that it's how he speaks in his Miami vernacular. Being a messy sissy, running to the internet to tell the goings on of the night. Despite the fact that Tamar revealed she was injured first, people saw the video of the two of them together the previous night and started accusing him of doing something nefarious. So he only said he didn't know what happened to that lady because he was being accused and everyone was asking. Wanted for clout chasing, trying to sacrifice Tamar to join the Illuminati, stealing Miss Evelyn's, her mother, identity and collecting her Social Security benefits, vandalizing Tamar's vehicle, stealing Tamar's laptop with unreleased music on its hard drive. That's a nod to Beyonce. He is also wanted for whatever else y'all can concoct between now and close of business Monday, August 25th, 2025, which is actually my birthday. But anyway, Funky Dineva was last spotted in Miami Beach doing some rich people bleep while simultaneously trying to evade the authorities. If you see him, you should call the blogs immediately. This nigga's stupid. I just have to say that because, oh my God. Yeah, I'm saying it's like he's over it too. But also, I never accused him. I will just say this because there are some people who feel like he did have something to do with it if indeed something really did happen to her. Because right now, not saying she needs to show us her face and images from that night to prove to us something happened, because none of us would have known about it if she never made that post. Am I right or wrong? But two, it wasn't about, for me, him having something to do with it. It was about the delivery. And even if people in the comment section or the chat of the video, when they were asking him about it, said that lady, because that's how he speaks, with her saying she almost lost her life, I just feel that it was very nonchalant. Is that a crime? No. But is it kind of heartless and cruel? Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I do agree with some people that feel that he has a certain type of way of dealing with women that makes it seem like he doesn't even really like women like that. But it is his hardcore audience of women that has kept him alive and thriving and growing and being who he is at this point in time. But it is what it is because a lot of people, a lot of women, they love being treated that way. It's really nothing I could do about it. I ain't Captain Saberhole. But yeah, I just have to say that with Tamar, I don't know if the rumors are true about her being seen with Mendeecees and why would she be seen with this man for some visual project that she's working on? And people are saying that they were spotted leaving together around 1 a.m. from the club. I don't know. I don't know. Did the statement come in from Yandy? I don't know. It's possible, but we shall see. But again, it's just like, ay, with the mental health journey because it's just always something. She's just been in so much stuff with so many different men and people over all of these years, and it's just tiring. It's exhausting. And I don't even follow her like that to know all of this stuff. It's just, if I'm tired of hearing about it, I would think she would be tired of living like that and just like really be on a mental health journey, really getting the help that you need, not just saying the words for the public and for social media so that they can leave you alone. Child, I just want to know what you guys think. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments about all of this. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.